Hello, Colts Nation, and what is up, No Horse and Family? Welcome back to another live stream, family style edition, family time edition, with no horsing around. As always, I have one of two dudes talking Colts. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen Burton. And hey, I mean, we might be a day late, but we're not a dollar short. We got plenty of stuff to talk about tonight. We are going to talk about, as the name says, it is the 2023 schedule release special. We're going to kind of talk a little bit about it, talk about the schedule, talk about the games we like, games we don't like. And then, as always, you guys, we're just going to kind of talk about anything y'all want to as you hop in here. Uh, as always, you guys, we always talk about we're brought to you by our amazing sponsor, WagerWire. WagerWire is a once in a life, one of a kind, revolutionary sports betting app that allows you to place bets all the way up to the last minute, get in and out of parlays, which is the craziest thing. Think about, like I always say it to you guys, think about you got a 3-team parlay, you've hit on 2, you can get out and you can make your money. It's insane. Make sure you go over wagerwire.com, check it out, drop your email address in so you get the app, and follow them at WagerWire on Twitter. So let's chat, you guys. The schedule has come out, right? The schedule has come out, and I'm here for it. Like I'm excited about it really quick. Hey, Sarah, glad you're here. You're very nice. Sarah's going to the Saints game. That'll be a fun time. I myself will always, as always, I'll be going to the Titans game in Tennessee. Zach, as a season ticket holder, he'll be going to most games that he can. So let's kind of talk about the schedule, right? Big glaring thing. What is the big glaring thing that we notice? We have 0 primetime games, which if I could take a poll of the room and say, raise your hand if you were shocked. Were you shocked that we didn't get a primetime game? How many did we get last year? We got like 4. And every year, you guys can come on here every year. We talk about, man, we don't, no respect, no primetime games, no primetime games. No one's respecting us. We should get more primetime games. Then they give it to us, and man, oh man, do we have just a craptastic season last year and showing in those primetime games. So I'm not stunned by it by any stretch that we didn't get any. The only part I think that surprises me a touch is no Thursday night game. I thought at the minimum you'd probably get a Thursday night game, but they've changed it up this year, right? Like you're not going to have every team playing on Thursday night. You have some teams who could have played multiple times on Thursday night. They were changing it up. And so 0 primetime games. Sarah, not really shocked. Colton gonna have to buy Sunday ticket now. LOL. Hey, I'm gonna give. So they are not a sponsor to this show, okay? But they are amazing. Reach out on Twitter, NV Streams. Okay, it is a legitimate company. That's what I use. It's what I have. It's much cheaper than Sunday ticket, and I'm actually, y'all know, I'm out of market. I am able to watch every single Colts game. And then I'm able to watch, like, I like the Padres and the Marlins. I tune into them. I can watch their games. I mean, I can watch everything. Go follow them. Check them out. It's a really good thing. It's much cheaper than Sunday ticket. Wombat, Colts always getting disrespected like this. So here's my thing, though, you guys, right? Like, as we're talking about 0 primetime games here. Is it disrespect? Like, is it disrespect this year? You got a rookie quarterback. Yes, we're all really excited about Anthony Richardson. But man, I mean, we were not a good team last year. So is it really a disrespect to not put us on prime time? There's not hype around the team. I mean, there's hype around the rookie quarterback and what he can do eventually. But you're not talking about like the same hype of the teams that got all these games. The Jets trade for Aaron Rodgers. The Chargers are always – right there. I mean, you guys know I think their coach is horrible, but like I'm not stunned. I mean, I'm stunned maybe that when you look at it and you put it into the group of who we're with that didn't get games. I mean, it's us, the Texans, the Falcons, and there's one more, and it's slipping my mind right now. But there are only 4 teams that didn't get any Monday night or Sunday night or primetime games, period. So, I mean, Colton, no problem, man. Yeah, go check them out. Sarah got her Richardson jersey shirt today. Very nice. Wombat, the Browns have 3. Yeah. And I'll give you that. The Browns have 3. On the same token, like there's always like a little bit of hype around the Browns, right? There's always a little bit of they've won the offseason. Year 2 of Deshaun Watson, say what you will about who he is as a person, but on the field, will he knock off some of that rust? Amari Cooper, I mean, there's always like hype, and they can always stick them on a primetime game. And part of it is probably who they could play too. Like, who are the rivalries for the Colts? We have the Patriots. You're playing that in a big game over in Germany. The Titans aren't going to be good this year. The Jags might be good. The Texans, not that great this year. Like, you don't have any of these budding rivalries. The Browns with the Bengals, you want to see Joe Burrow. The Browns against the Steelers, you want to see how Kenny Pickett is in year 2. The Browns against the Ravens, how's Lamar going to look? So there's a lot of different ones with that. Sarah drops in. It was the Cardinals were the last one, which is kind of like, so Pat McAfee was talking about this today. Kind of insane. They paid a buttload of money to their quarterback, and they have no games. I know he's hurt, but no games. Oh, man. Let's see. And the Browns. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, Sarah, great point out. Browns did trade for Zadarius Smith today. So, I mean, that's a big one. Wombat, I get it, brother. I just would think that Anthony Richardson being such a freak, athletic freak, such an athletic freak, would be must-see TV. I think he will be. I don't think they know. I mean, here's the thing, too. Like, we've beat the table for him to start week 1. I think a lot of people are now kind of coming around to that, but you don't know. Like, we don't know if how many games he's going to start this year. If he comes in and he looks good, then next year maybe. But the thing is, we don't know this year. I get where you're coming from, and then especially when you look up and you see like the fact that the Panthers got a couple of primetime games, so it's hit or miss. Hey, you guys, as we're starting out, thank you guys as you're coming in. We're gonna keep this one. I don't know how long we'll go. We'll go as long as you guys want to talk. But we're appreciative. If you want to drop a little tip in the tip jar, we'll give a little donation to the No Horse Around family. You can hit that. We're always appreciative of it. Colton dropping in again. I'm not a big jersey guy. Manning luck, that's it. I went to buy Richardson's, and the jerseys are now 130. Wild, man. Okay, so I'm gonna drop another little piece. Colton, go to Google, type in fanswish.cn, and then just surf around. It's a site that gives discounted jerseys, and you can get Anthony Richardson's jersey, I believe, for like $35, somewhere around there. It's a good site, but that's a little one too. I mean, the ones are expensive. I bought a Carson Wentz one when we traded for him, so it is what it is. But okay, so outside of the primetime games, what do we think, you guys? I mean, week 1 at home, first home opener in several years, going against Jacksonville, then at Houston, at Baltimore, and then the Rams, right? How do we feel in those first 4 games? What do we think as we kind of go through? You look over, I mean, do they shake off the rust? Do they beat Jacksonville at home? I think at Houston's a winnable game. Baltimore, that's a tough. The Rams, what do they look like? They were so decimated last year. Are they the same this year? I don't know. If you're in the chat, pop up what you think. Sarah says she thinks that there's 2-2 in those first 4 games. I think that's a very reasonable thing. It could be you start 2-0. I mean, when I looked over the schedule briefly, right, the whole thing, I think I could pinpoint what I felt comfortable, trends and how we normally play. I found 7 to 8 wins is kind of where I sat, where I felt comfortable saying I think those are 7 to 8 wins that you could really get. Uh, so I mean, I want to hear what you guys think. So Peyton drops in. Peyton, if you want to message me privately, I've ordered stuff from the website. I do trust it. It does come in. Peyton goes 3-1. Hey, Peyton, I also would love for you to drop in. Who are the 3 wins and the 1 loss? Sarah, same thing for you. Colton, I want to hear from you, brother. I want to hear what your picks are through those first couple of games. I mean, you start looking at it. So you got those first 4 games. I think a lot of people are going to point out that what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 of the first 6 games are divisional games. I believe I saw on NFL Network today that the Colts are the only team that has like that front loaded with division games. I mean, it is extremely front loaded, just like years past, just like we've seen before. It's crucial that you have to get off to this good start. You've got to win some of these games, or you are screwed in the division no matter what you do. Take last year out. Go the year before. You start slow and you spend all that time, all that energy digging back because you're in such a hole in the division that it's damn near impossible to climb out of. Wombat says, personally, feel pretty good overall with needing to start Richardson out of the gate. I know we must temper expectations, especially early, to give him time to grow. I think that's the thing. Like, you hear that a lot to kind of go with this. You hear that a lot of, well, we need to temper the expectations. He needs to grow. And I fully and 100% agree. But the people who argue against him starting, he's got to play, right? He has to play. He has 13 career starts in college. The only way that you get experience is by getting experience. A guy I really like to listen to, it's controversial. I love listening to Ryan Leaf on his podcast when he's on Good Morning Football, things like that. And he talked about that too. He's like, you've got to play and you got to hope that he has the right mindset to be able to take the lumps. I think he used earlier in the week, he talked about take the mindset, take the lumps and learn from them like Peyton did. Don't take them and internalize them like he did. So, I mean, I think that's part of it. I feel good. I think that they're going to design an offense around what he does best, which is run and that's going to open up passing lanes easier for him. Sarah, when you have the Texans, Jags losing to the Rams and Ravens, but maybe the Rams we could win. Peyton has Texans, Rams, and Jags. That's kind of, if I were to look at the first 4 games, that's kind of where I would think. I think we could beat Ravens, but not sure. I think I heard Kyle Brandt talking at one point. He was discussing this. And he said that's an interesting game, the Ravens, because if there's ever a defense that knows how to play against and has seen a running quarterback, it would absolutely be the Ravens. Wombat saying if I think doubling our win total in 1 year is a plus. He's going off of me where I kind of said hit or miss. I came like 7 or 8 wins maybe. Sarah agrees Richardson needs to start week 1. Colton, here we go, baby. Let's see. 2-2. We're so used to a slow start from the Reich era. Steichen will have these guys ready to go. 2-2 would be a solid start for this season. I agree, man. I agree. I think that it really would be. I mean, if you can come out of the gate and you're going 2-2, I mean, and I mean, if those wins come against the division, that's huge. It's a huge thing. So let's kind of go to the next chunk. After week 4, we'll kind of take it at a bigger chunk. You've got at home against the Titans, at Jacksonville, Cleveland, New Orleans, Carolina, right? How do we look at that? So here's the funny thing. I look at that stretch, and personally, me looking at it, I get concerned about at home against the Titans and at the Jags. Those two concern me the most. But here's the thing, like I always kind of, for the most part, feel we split with Tennessee. We haven't the last few years. And when we do split with Tennessee, we take the game on the road, which is later this season. The at Jacksonville worries me because it's been so long since we've won there. Do you finally win there? Is the question. Can you finally get over the hump and win there? That's going to be the ultimate question. That's what we need to see. I don't know. That's going to be the thing. So, what do you guys think over that next stretch of games? You know, you've got at home against Tennessee, at Jacksonville, Cleveland, New Orleans, and Carolina. I think the Carolina game is interesting also because it's Bryce Young. New Orleans, what does Derek Carr look like? Cleveland, is Deshaun Watson back? You know, there's interesting storylines to a lot of these games. So if you say we're sitting at 2-2 after the first 4 games, 2-3 after the Titans, 2-4 maybe after the Jags, 3-4, 4-4, 5-4 maybe after 9 weeks. Would you take that? Would you take 5-4 with Anthony Richardson after 9 weeks? I don't know. Wombat, I think if our defense can keep the score down, we have a pretty good shot at 8 wins. Let's see. Peyton, I think we beat Tennessee. Saints lose to Carolina. Okay, so you got Tennessee, Saints, Carolina. What about Cleveland and Jags? Those are 2 other ones. I mean, now here's the thing too. Like when we do these way too early predictions, right? When we're talking and we're like, man, what do we think the record's going to be? We don't really even have any clue what the roster is going to look like at the end of the day. We don't know if Anthony Richardson's going to start. Excuse me, you guys. We don't know if he's going to start. So this is like the way too early prediction, right? As we look through it. So it's going to be interesting as we kind of keep peeking through. Then obviously you have the game in Germany against the Patriots. Then you have your bye week. Yet again, I do like the spot for the bye week. I like it in week 11. You go on a stretch of what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 games. Like that's when you try to get a little healthier. The back end of the schedule, they're like after the bye week. I mean, you got Tampa. I think Tampa's a train wreck this year. You're at the Titans. I think that's the one that you get. At Cincinnati, that's a tough one. At home against Pittsburgh, you play hard against Pittsburgh. You don't beat them in Pittsburgh, but you can probably take them at home. They do have Kenny Pickett. That's a game that could be flexed, still to be determined. At Atlanta, what does Desmond Ridder look like by the end of the year? At home against the Raiders, you've kind of had the Raiders. You beat them last year. They have Jimmy G. I think Josh McDaniels is a complete train wreck of a head coach. And then you end it with Houston, right? How do you go over that little stretch there? How do we feel about that stretch? I think it gets a little easier as that season goes on. I think, and by I mean stunned would be my case if Anthony Richardson is not if he's not started the year, if he's not playing in week 12, something's seriously wrong. Something is seriously wrong if that's the case, right? So, what do we think, you guys? How do we feel about the schedule? Are we happy? Are we sad? Do we feel like we're going to get a couple of wins here and there? Do we feel like we're not? Domo Wiggly, buddy, I love you, man. I'm tired of having so many division games packed on the front of the schedule. I am too. I mean, the division games, they're basically done by, let me pull this up again. The division games are basically wrapped up by Halloween at the latest. That's what sucks. Peyton, tell me where you're finding the 10 wins, my brother. Tell me where you see them. I want to see them. Colton winning at least 8 games this season would be a massive improvement. We'll be brewing up a legit contender. I agree. Like, if you can get 8 wins, that's impressive, you guys. I mean, shows the right direction. Now, here's the thing: we temper expectations because we're we have a younger team, and we didn't temper them last year. We did not temper expectations last year's division title. It was dark horse Super Bowl, and man, we fell flat on our face. I think the only team that had more hype that did worse, Denver Broncos, maybe. So what are we feeling? Peyton, I'm optimistic. What can I say? Hey, man, you do you, Peyton. You want to be optimistic? That's fine. You go in optimistic. It's not. No one wants your team to lose. It's not fun when you're going through there and you're predicting losses, right? So, I mean, it's the schedule is what the schedule is. It's a third place in the division schedule, so it's slightly easier than the Titans, which is great. But it's not obviously as easy as the Texans. So what do we think? So I mean, it's yeah. I mean, so kind of transitioning a little bit too with the schedule, right? We've talked about the lack of primetime games, kind of looked at the schedule. Show of hands in the chat. Is Anthony Richardson starting week 1? Is he starting out of the gate? And then if you don't think he is, where are you plugging him in? When is he starting? Right? We did a an episode kind of on stat predictions for Anthony Richardson. And we'll talk about that. We can always get to that. The other part too is y'all knock it around your heads. Drop it in. What do you guys want to talk about tonight, man? It's been a while. We took a week off from doing the live stream. What do y'all want to talk about tonight, too? Okay, Peyton says he no doubt, honestly, he needs to play to learn. Couldn't agree more with you, man. I mean, I could not. I mean, the only way to get experience is to get experience, right? Like it's redundant sounding. It sounds kind of stupid sometimes, but the only way that he's going to get experience at the quarterback position is by playing. Colton, I think he should. I feel like Steichen may be a little old school and roll with a quarterback who is comfortable in his system. See how the first games go and then reevaluate. See, I can see that. I can. But at the same time, like, listen to the way they've talked about the need for experience, how comfortable he sounds already, how much he's dug into the playbook. I feel like personally they're dropping hints that he's going to get every opportunity to start. If he's ready to start, he will start. If he is not ready, then he will not. It's that simple. Peyton, in order for 10 wins. Here we go. Jags, Texans, Rams, Titans, Browns, Saints, Patriots, Bucks, Steelers, Raiders. It's As I'm looking at that, I mean, I think you could beat the Jags, could beat the Texans. We don't know what we get: the Rams, the Titans, the Browns, the Saints. I mean, the Rams. If I'm looking at it and I'm being picky, Rams, Steelers, Raiders. I'm not sure what you're getting, so I don't know what to expect with us up against them. Colton, I want AR to start. Would be way more exciting. Wombat, he'll start week 1, 4, 6, or 8. Yeah, I mean, and that's the other part too, is like show of hands on who's excited. Like, how excited are you for the season to start? I mean, just simply alone. I think the joke that I have, like this is how easy it is to know how excited Colts fans are. Give me just a second. I'm gonna y'all bear with me while I pull this up. But I mean, just looking at how excited Colts fans are, anything that comes out when it comes to the Colts, right? Everyone is like so pumped about, right? I mean, the joke I think I have is I posted a YouTube short, right? And I'm gonna show it to you guys because it's mine and I've posted it and it's insane. So let me find it. I think this is it. Is that it? Nope, that's it. Give me just a second, you guys. It's bad content right now, but I want to show it. This is how you can tell how excited people are, right? Is that there it is. I posted video, right, to YouTube. That is AR5, that's Anthony Richardson, coming out to the practice field. That got 10,000 views. 10,000. That's how excited people seem to be. You combine that with you got Jonathan Taylor coming back healthy. You got Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce, Jelani Woods. You got Ogletree coming back from injury. I mean, you got Joshua Downs, who people are super excited about. It's the most excited people I think have been in a really long time. And you have an exciting young quarterback that right now, at least, we have no clue how good he could be or how bad he could be. But we're excited. So Peyton says Raiders overrated, Browns is a maybe, Steelers is a shock win for us. Yeah. The draft is so early that I've been ready since the combine. Wombat, I have to keep myself from being overly excited. I think that's everybody at this point. I think everybody's just really excited to see something new. Here's the other part, too. Like me and Zach have talked about this, is that part of the excitement comes from Anthony Richardson because he is a quarterback that the Colts organization has never had. That style of quarterback that can throw a 60, 70, 80-yard bomb or can take a 70-yard run out of the backfield, and just go. Like, we've never had that. As great as our quarterbacks have been, Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, right? They were not that type of quarterback, that electric quarterback that you see, and the Colts have one now. We think we have one. And I think that's why people get so excited now. So, outside, let me ask, this is a question that I'm just curious with everyone who's in the chat. Outside of Anthony Richardson, because that's a big thing. That's why a lot of people are excited. Who are you most excited to see next season? I think everybody's excited to see Anthony Richardson. So let's kind of take that. That's the number one, right? Who are you most excited to see next season? I mean, for me, rookie wise, I'm really excited to see Joshua Downs. But for me, I beat this drum last year, and he proved me right to an extent. Man, it's Jelani Woods. Like, I'm really excited. And then, like, it gets lost, but Shaq's going to be coming back, right? Like, Shaq Leonard's going to be back. And that's really freaking exciting. Colton says the run game will be scary. And Peyton says Downs and Brents. Yeah, those are two great ones. Are we excited to see Kenny Moore maybe be back to his normal self? We see if Zaire can play as well as he did last season. Grover, DeForest Buckner, Kwity Paye. Like, how are we feeling, right? Let's not forget Samson coming in. Like, that's an interesting signing. How's he going to do? I talked to my buddy who covers the Niners, and he was like, dude, man, you're getting a really, really good one. Jason Aponte, everyone knows him. I love Jason. I talk to him a lot, especially with Niners questions. And he's like, man, that dude's a stud, man. That's a good get. That's a good get. So he came like highly recommended. So, there's a lot of pieces that are there. I think the key for this season as a fan is you can be excited. But you have to look at this season as I'm looking for development. Like, how are they developing towards next season? It doesn't, if Anthony Richardson and Joshua Downs and all these players look better by the end of the year than they did at the start of the year, but you only have 6 wins, it's not bad. You're showing for the future. Everyone always points to, and everyone has to remember, Peyton had 28 interceptions his first season. Andrew Luck won 11 games, but that's like an anomaly, right? Like most rookies don't come in and do that. So you have to take the good with the bad and realize that you can make progress and still not win games. I think the joke I had last season was like when Matt Ryan was doing so poorly, there was nothing you could do that could excite the fan base, really, right? Like, even if you had drafted Desmond Ritter or Malik Willis back in the day, right? You could have put him in and people would be like, okay, like, let's see what the young guy has. We didn't have that. You had a late round pick in Sam Ellinger and Nick Foles. You didn't have anything. You got excitement this season. Peyton, I think Woods has a chance to be the best tight end in the NFL if he hits his peak. It's saying a lot. There's a lot of really, really good tight ends, but he can definitely be a mismatch nightmare. I mean, the guy's massive, and he can catch the ball, and he can run. And I don't know about you, but I'm not standing in front of that. Colton's still waiting for that right guard. We can't go into camp with Fries and Ecure. Wombat, I'm excited to see JT back. Shaq Leonard, Drew Ogletree, all 3 quarterbacks we drafted. Josh Downs, heck, we could see a beast of a team. I think you see like good, solid picks and development. Like we have to. We have to be careful, you guys. Like that's part of why last season was so difficult. Like we got super excited to see like we're gonna be great, right? And we're probably not there yet. I mean, I know we're not there yet. So you want to look for the development. How does JT look coming back? How does he mesh with Anthony? How's Drew look coming back from injury? How's Shaq look coming back? Right? Wombat quarterbacks. Peyton, yeah, just shoot me a DM, man. If you've got a follow, you can follow me at Stephen Burton 86. That should pop it up. And if I see your DM on Twitter, I'll shoot you back after the show. Wombat, I think at least on paper we could have something really special. I think you're right. Like a lot of people are looking at the weapons and they're like, man, yeah, you got these, big bodied Pittman, big bodied Pierce, speedy Downs, huge Jelani. I mean, I know he may not even make it out of camp with us, but huge Mo Alley Cox, right? You got JT in the backfield. A lot of people have forgot you got Zach Moss, who looked really good at the tail end of last season in the backfield. How does the O-line look? That's a huge question. Peyton, we'll figure it out, man. We'll figure it out. Drop just in the chat, drop your Twitter handle, and I'll find it on there. So I'm gonna ask Peyton and Wombat because they've been really, really active in here. What's a question? What's something you guys want to talk about? I'm gonna go for probably about another 10 minutes. What is a topic that you want to touch on? Who do you want to talk about? Anything. I'm gonna give you guys just a minute. I mean, I can talk all day. Okay. Peyton drops in his first one. Bubba Ventrone leaving could definitely hurt our special teams. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, a lot of people made a big deal about Bubba leaving. Bubba got a promotion. He's associate head coach. Steichen didn't want to give that to him. He's from that area. He's got family from that area. It made a lot of sense. I hated to lose him, but at the same time, you can't hamstring your new coach with the coaches that are already there, right? You got to let them bring in who they want. So it could be interesting to see. I'm interested to see. They've been an extremely talented unit the last several years under him. How do they look going forward? We'll see. Who else has something? Anybody's got anything they want to talk about, they want to drop in, they want to drop in the chat. Yet again, we appreciate everybody who's in here, you guys. Yet again, if you feel the need and you have not joined this family, make sure you hit that subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you don't miss when we go live. And if you feel it in your gut that you want to help, hit the tip jar, man. You guys can always give a little tip here and there, and we really appreciate that. I'm just looking up Peyton right now. Okay, Peyton, you can give it a try now. Okay. Wombat, it's cool just to be able to talk because I don't usually catch you guys live. Yeah, it's been a weird week. It's been a weird couple of weeks. We've had a lot going on. We didn't go live last week, so we missed you guys. We did miss doing that. And we went a little later in the week this week. We had some things going on personally, but then also we wanted to wait till the schedule got released. So going on Friday night is very different for us. So it's kind of been interesting to see and be able to talk to and hear from a lot of different people that we don't normally get to hear from. Okay, let's see. So Peyton wants to know about Alec Pierce. I think Alec Pierce, wide receivers always take a year or two. Remember Michael Pittman Jr., the jump from year 1 to year 2 was pretty solid. I mean, I think Pierce is probably a 1,000-yard receiver. The biggest question I'm going to have is the rapport that Richardson gets with – he's going to get a rapport with a receiver. It may not be all of them, but he's going to get trust with one. I think he's already developing with Downs. That's going to be interesting to see. Pierce is the kind of the take the top off. So he could have a big season. I wouldn't be stunned if he gets close to 1,000 yards this year or maybe goes over. Because you're going to also see the ability to throw the ball down the field way more. Colton, we have like 6 to 8 elite special teams players on this roster. We should have one of the best special team units in the league. Yeah, I mean, that we do. We have a really strong roster on the special teams. It's what they've built over the last few years. Wombat, I think our new special teams are going to be okay, especially considering if he's as detail-oriented as Bubba. True. Peyton, could I see Pierce overtake Pittman for wide receiver 1? Probably not. They're different kind of receivers. I mean, they're both really big, but I don't foresee that. I think Pittman's your 1, Pierce is your 2, Downs is in the slot, McKenzie's out there as the wide receiver number 4 probably. And then you've got, I think you probably, I mean, in all honesty, you probably have Woods and Ogletree at the tight end when you do that. And you got JT and Richardson in the backfield rotating Moss in. It's going to be really interesting to see how that goes. But as far as him taking over, I mean, it's possible. Nothing's impossible. I think Pittman, last year he had drops, and I think that hurt a little bit more, the trust that Matt Ryan had in him. But, man, when the season goes the way that it did last year and it starts going down, like it can go down really quickly, and a lot of people can lose their confidence really, really quickly. If Richardson doesn't work out, how long do you think Ballard has? I think he'll be fired. I think this is his swinging his hit. Because also you got to think, if Richardson doesn't work out, you're going to know after 2 to maybe – you're going to know probably after 3 years. You're going to give Ballard 3 years, let Richardson fully develop. Very rarely do you see like a Zach Wilson where they're tanked after year 2 and they're getting rid of him, especially a high pick. But if Richardson fails, Ballard's gone. Wombat, I really liked our schedule release video with Grover Stewart and DeForest Buckner. The ending with Alec Pierce and Anthony Richardson was really funny. Yeah, I did a video where I was reacting to it. The ending was priceless. I thought that was fantastic. It was like, hey, shifts over. New guy's here, and the hits Richardson right in the face, and he just goes over and starts doing the dishes. I think that speaks to a lot of how he is. I love that they did Grover Stewart and DeForest Buckner. Go over to the website too. for Colts.com because they have behind the scenes. Pittman came in there for a little bit too. Um, it's really funny. I think they did a really good job. I will say the two best releases were hands down. The Titans probably had the best one. If you've not seen it, it's hilarious. And then the Chargers is just really interesting and really fun to watch. But probably the best release was the Titans with them asking people on Broadway to name the teams. And it is priceless. I can tell you, as someone who lives in Tennessee and lives really close to Nashville, has family in Nashville, I tweeted out, I said, none of those people were probably from Nashville. They were there for concerts or they were there for bachelorette parties from out of state. I doubt any of them were actually from Nashville. Peyton, Grove, and Defo really know where foods are from. So I had somebody ask me that the other day. I was like, man, how they're getting it correct. Let's also not forget they knew the teams. We've known the teams that they were playing. We just didn't know the order. So they knew who they were playing. So you can kind of narrow it down because I thought of the one that irked me for some reason was the Cuban being from Tampa. I would have guessed Miami, and then I remembered they would have known that they're not playing the Dolphins this season. So I don't know, you guys. I mean, it's going to be interesting. We're kind of now getting towards that dead period a little bit. Like we're coming up on, like we got the mandatory mini camp, we got OTAs a little bit in June, and then there's going to be a lot more of videos that we're going to do and episodes we're going to do of like speculation and stuff. Like who's going to be the number one receiver next year? Does Jelani Woods have a breakout year? How many games does Shaq play? It becomes a lot of that stuff because we just don't have a lot of stuff that we're going to be able to talk about because they're going to go dead for a little while. But having you guys here to talk to and be able to bounce it off of is always fun. It's always exciting. But we're going to kind of go ahead and wrap it up a little bit. Let me pop up Colton. I agree. Just want the team to stay healthy. But, like I said earlier, we appreciate everybody who comes in, everybody who stops by, everybody who makes a comment, everybody who tags the like, who joins the family, who helps us expand this family. Me and Zach always joke when we started this 2 years ago, we've gone through 2 seasons together doing this. We went through Carson Wentz and we went through Matt Ryan last season. Never in our wildest dreams when we started it would we think we'd be sitting close to what 2.5K subscribers on YouTube. I mean, it's crazy. And we cherish every single one of you guys. We love it. And in the end, we end the thing the same way we always do. I love you. I know Zach loves you. I'll see you guys next time.